What's up, guys? Welcome to A Restar's Life. This is Daily Refinement. Today is our mastermind call that we do every Wednesday, and we talk about process improvements for eBay. So, specifically today, what I want to go over is I want to ask people what bugs them about eBay and what they could do to improve um, their process. So, I'll start and give you guys an idea of things that I'm working on. So, what bugs me is I'm not my something is wrong with my listings because I get way too many questions. So one of the things that I'm not used to is the amount of customer service I have to do for my level of store. I have more than let's see, 21. I probably have 75 messages a day, um, which is a lot. So I'm trying to figure out how to reduce that. Um, So I need to figure out how to make my listings more clear so I can have less questions, because that's taking up a lot of time. Also, I want to show you guys on my photos as I'm loading in the listings, I edit the first photo. So this actually saves me a lot of time because as I look on the right side of my screen when I'm adding the photos in, the one that's edited is a different format. So that actually saves me time as I'm adding in the pictures from the listings. So I don't, also the last picture is um the SKU number. So I use a SKU system. So the last one is the SKU and the first picture is an edited photo where I remove the background. So just visually it makes it easier for me to look at. Also, I want to point out that I've been trying to find a new photographer here, and it's actually not that easy. Um, it's just trying to get people to stage photos exactly like I stage photos is proving to be more difficult than I thought. So maybe be patient um, with with that process. So I want to talk about what bugs you, and then maybe something that you can improve. Um, let's start with Bill. Bill, good morning. What bugs you about eBay? What could you improve?
Well, I don't like the slow time of processing the money.
Okay,
It was much faster with PayPal,
sure.
and I find it harder to track.
Are you doing weekly or daily?
Well, daily, but I don't get it daily. It's every 3 days or something like that.
Let's see.
I don't get a we sent your money this morning every day. So that's the thing that bugs me. Um, I'm just the biggest thing for me right now is the mindset to process listings every day, which um, I was surprised by your comment yesterday when you said, "Hey, I'm not in shape to do 100 listings a day."
Yeah,
It
I'm
just
not.
it just takes a mentality of, well, like you keep saying, a listing habit. And I fell asleep trying to get my number last night,
Hmm.
and just because I had to go hang up on awnings on my store. I have a physical store, at a flea market,
Hmm.
and I ordered awnings. They came in, I had to go hang them up. So it took a couple hours out of my day, but I think I want that daily habits list 30 a day at least. So it's a struggle for me to get that number.
You know what I was thinking, Bill, is it's kind of related to fitness. It's like pretty straightforward because when I look at people who, let's say, stretching, some people can easily touch their toes. Some people can put their elbows on the floor almost. They can bend completely flat. And also like athletes, some people can run for 10 straight hours. Some people can't run around the block. So it's not like it's usually conditioning. It's not there's not I mean, obviously the physical gift separates people from being a professional and just a regular athlete, but you can't just skip going into being conditioned. It takes a long time. I think that's the yeah, it is interesting because I was looking at somebody was talking about who is like a person that lists a lot in your industry. And I was looking at tech and sports and breaking down the day. For me to do 250 listings, it would take me 20 hours. I don't, ha- I'm not organized enough to do that. I could not do 20 hours of listing a day because it's not optimized enough. I couldn't do it. And even if I had people helping me, I couldn't do it. because the quality control would go way down. Each time you hire someone, it's like watering down your business, right? That's like the magic. If somehow you could hire someone and doesn't water down your business, then go for it. That's just really hard. That's why husband and wife teams do so well, because they both care. So Bill, those two things that bug you, what's one thing that you could do as far as the payments? Because I know that's a pretty common thing. You used to get money instantly, especially over the holiday weekend. There was 2 extra holidays. So I was looking, if you're doing payouts daily, most of the time it's 5 days a week, but sometimes the last couple of weeks it's 4. I haven't seen a 3 a week though. Let me see. Denise says, oh yeah. I mean, Bill does have the daily, but I imagine there will be a service that comes out that will pay you daily, like actually daily. Like Amazon has payability that will pay you instantly. I imagine somebody will come out with a service for eBay where they'll pay you instantly when you get a sale. So you don't have to wait 3 or 4 days for the money to transfer to your bank account versus it. But eBay is still faster than most companies. The thing that would make, and you can use that pending balance to pay for shipping labels. So if eBay were to switch to an eBay debit card, that would be a game changer. If they gave people an eBay debit card, because then you don't need to pay a fee to use your own money. Like Poshmark, you can get the money and then use it right away. That's like one of or Mercari.
Well, I think the solution for me is to have a defined cash management plan in terms of a cash reserve. Because the reason that if we go back to the 5 whys, the reason that it bothers me is because I like to take that money and go right away and go buy more product. So I think, maybe I should have just a comfortable cash reserve of $2,500 or $5,000 just to play with. What I haven't figured out what that number should be for me. Do you have that number worked out for you?
I think it's 6 months of operating expenses. If you had that, like just like your regular life, you should have a 6-month cushion. So if your business had, let's say, because right now we are in quarantine, right? So we actually don't know if supply is going to stay consistent. So it's almost like buy inventory, even if you're not sure, as long as it's the right inventory, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. So I think 6 months reserve. Actually, 6 months reserve is the minimum. I would say if you didn't want to have to worry, and I mean it takes a long time to get that. I think because most businesses, just like people, operate paycheck to paycheck. You're spending money as soon as you get it, which makes me wonder about what's going on right now. I think there's just free money. All these businesses, they weren't doing that well. How come they're still not closed before quarantine? So we're still closed here. I don't get how people, but there will be a mass exodus from California. So hopefully, if a bunch of people leave, it'll become more affordable here. Let's go with Tony. Tony, what bugs you about eBay? What can you do to fix it?
I don't know. There's not a whole lot. I mean, other than keep filling a lot of the fields that really don't need, and honestly, I just don't fill those in. One thing I noticed when I got back from vacation, because you know, I don't ship a ton every day. My store's not that big yet. I'm slowly building. But when I got back, I had 60 items to ship,
Mm-hmm.
over 60, and I didn't realize how much time I was spending on that. One thing I didn't like is I wish eBay would just list them in order of my SKU, a way to sort that so I could just see my SKU. What I ended up doing was having to print it down and then run it through Excel, and so I'd have a list so I can just go down the road to my bins, and pull them quicker.
You used to be able to do that. Does anybody know how to sort by SKU? Matt maybe knows. How?
Unless I'm doing it wrong.
Go to print labels and ship.
Okay.
And then on the right side, you'll see in blue text, print/download report. Just under that, you can sort by record, name, username, custom label, total, date sold, date paid.
So you got to actually go to print to start.
Yeah, I see.
No. Don't click any of the blue text. Don't click print or download report. Under that, there's a sort by and a drop down menu.
Let me see.
Manage orders awaiting shipment.
Okay, where is it? Sort by. Oh, I don't see it.
I got you right here. Bam.
Wait, what screen is this?
Manage orders awaiting shipment.
What? Okay.
It's on the right side.
Yeah. See,
I don't
didn't know
have that. Oh, yeah, I do have that. Let's see. Okay, I do have that. Sorry. False.
But yeah, that was a big time suck.
Okay.
In general, shipping I didn't know was a problem, and for the most part it isn't, because I'm listing 30 a day, but that hasn't caught up. The sales hasn't caught up yet. I'm selling around 10 a day, and I kind of break that up. I might have 4 or 5 ready after this call, and I get those ready. I might have a few in the day later in the day, and you just don't notice how long that's taken. But it took me over 4 hours to ship those 60 items. So when I do start selling 30 a day, that's going to consume a good 2 hours. And now part of it is where I'm at here right now. I've got bins. I've got 3 rooms that my bins are in, plus some of them are stacked just to make room. I did finally get my storage unit. I can start moving in today, so I'll slowly move in there, and I think that'll fix a lot of that, because I won't have anything stacked. It'll all be on shelves, so it'll be a little quicker there. But yeah, just looking forward to get over there, because I did, while I was on vacation, kind of went through my numbers, and right now 30 is pretty much my max from what I'm spending, sourcing, listing. Just kind of what I estimated. I'm spending 9 hours a day to do those 30 if I was selling 30. Now I'm not selling 30, but I just kind of broke it down minutes, and basically it's 18 minutes an item from sourcing it to out the door.
I think I am at maybe 5 minutes. So that's good to know all the way through the having everything in the same system, the shelving. Also, there's 6 feet of space between my shelves, which is totally unnecessary. As Tech and Sports would say, you could drive a truck through that. But it's so nice having that extra space, because it's like comfortable picking. And then, are you using multi-label shipping?
No, I'm
Okay.
doing one by one.
Which I think is fine, but it's faster without.
But now that I see you can sort it this way, I might, I could probably do multi-level, just lay them out and go to town.
So I
I
just
just got a
realized
lot of things to work through on that end too, and
when you
shipping supplies. I mean, I don't know what you guys are doing for USPS, but like the padded flat, I can only order a box at a time. And what happens when you start going through a box a week, a box every few days?
So I think Tech uses a box every 2 days. I'm like maybe like a month, because I use mostly the cardboard one.
Yeah.
But the way that I order it is there's 2 sets of them, one set of 10 and one set of 15. So I order 6 boxes of 15 and 10 boxes of 10, so I can get 2 boxes. That's how I do. I just try to order that
Okay.
once every week or 2. And then for a while they were backed up, and I forgot, just like a lot of people, and I just kept ordering them, because I'm like, where are they? And then I got like 20 of them in 1 week, because they were backed up. So I won't let that happen next year. I'll stock up before Q4. Cool, Tony. I'm glad that you know that. That number is really important, because if you do 18 start to finish out the door, that's if you can do 3 of those an hour times your average profit, that's your hourly.
Right, which is not where I want to be. I mean, I've got a I mean, basically 18, you're doing 3 an hour. That's, I was thinking I can do, maybe get it up to at least 5 is what I want to, that's kind of what I'm shooting for, which I think I can. I get over there, I start making some improvements to, the workflow, and sourcing is the big one. 7 minutes out of that 18 is sourcing. So if I can get the product coming to me, or, find better sources, then that'll cut, over a third of that off.
I love it. Someone in the chat said that it's super early. I think that, this is a funny statistic. I think most unemployed people wake up at 11 a.m. And I feel like that is what a lot of eBay sellers do. People who like because some people list 50 to 100 items a week full time, and that's really slow. I would say that's like, let me do that math. That's like an hour for one listing all the way through. So you can really, really, really be efficient. I think you can get it down to definitely under 5 minutes if you have everything streamlined and you sell similar stuff. So if you do $5 an item profit and you can do 12 an hour, that's $60 an hour. That's 6 figures. So you can do the math even at $5 profit items. And I think, sorry, this is my last rant on this. I think that $5 profit items, if you can learn how to do that, you can make any amount of money on eBay. If you can process $5 items and you know how to do it with really low returns, you can scale this pretty much to any size because $5 profit items are everywhere. Let's go with Brian. Brian, good morning. What bugs you about eBay? What could you improve?
Good morning. Well, first of all, kind of interesting. We're talking about what you did, your comment about getting up early and this is late, and it kind of goes to mindset. And I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and I know we use the metaphor of equating reselling or listing to running, and it was on Bulletproof Radio, and they were interviewing a doctor who had studied like athletes and VO2 responses, and they were trying to figure out like why two runners that had the same max VO2, maximum amount of oxygen they can process, why was there a difference in their performance as far as running whenever all the physical elements were the same? And the conclusion was it came to the brain chemistry, and and the mindset ties into that a lot. And then just kind of equating that to what you were just talking about, getting up early, that's a mindset thing. Like I've noticed for me, the mornings I get up at 5, like this morning, I get so much more done versus sleeping into like 6:30. So just the mindset is huge. And then if you take what he was saying and kind of transfer that to listing, now he's not saying that you can have the right mindset and you don't train and you a 4-minute mile or anything, but like once there is a percentage where it equates for the mindset. And so thinking about listing, it's kind of the same thing. Like I've noticed myself since we've been on this listing kick, that mine's changed a lot. It used to be where I thought, man, 10 listings a day. Of course, I was working full time, but 10 listings a day was tough. And now, like if I only did 10 listings, I would feel what a slacker. So a lot of it just is the mindset. So that's the first thing. But as specifically eBay, I think like we've talked about sending offers, and I noticed I didn't have the box click to allow counter offers, and I wasn't converting as many of those sales. So I've clicked it, and I am getting a lot counter me. But I guess the thing that bothers me is the customer service going back in there and countering low ball off. And my percentage of conversions has gone up, but also the time I'm spending, countering those. I guess it's a minor annoyance. And I know you can click where the auto accept, auto decline, but I don't want necessarily auto decline. I'd rather have the auto counter. I wish they had that option. So I guess that's the thing that kind of bothers me. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah, it is interesting how that that bar keeps moving when your habit gets stronger. Because I was listening to Casey Neistat. He's like, for him, a light run is 10 miles. So like that's hardcore. That'd be like a light listing days 30, right? That's a lot. So yeah, it's interesting looking at the mindset part, because your identity, as we keep talking about, I want everyone to have an identity shift. You are the person that lists 20 a day. You are 30 a listing a day person, and that helps you get focused. Let's go with Matt. Matt, good morning. What bugs you about eBay? What could you improve?
What bugs me about eBay is how glitchy it is. It's not smooth.
No, it's not. It's
No.
clunky and old.
Yeah, especially like just every part of it. Like I got a message today and it said something like your eBay seller protections monthly summary. And there's this big wheel, like a pie chart, right? And it says active listings that could be protected by offering 30-day returns. 100% of my store falls in that category, even though I offer 30-day free returns. Like, what the hell is that? What is this telling me?
I know, it's not very good.
It's stupid, man. Just make it like about the important stuff. Forget all this other stuff.
If they just had one number on the front page that said your average number of listings that go up a week, that's like the heart of your store. And they're like, you know what? You listed 17% less items this month. Get your ass in gear. Or your items that you listed this month suck and no one wants to buy them. Don't stop buying this stuff. Right? Amazon actually does penalize you because they charge you a storage fee. eBay doesn't.
Yeah, they could. They have that data.
They do.
Right? They track all these things. They could at least show you how to be a better seller.
No, I learned this from the meeting. I know why they do that. eBay makes literally maybe $1 billion on listing fees of things that don't sell. They do not care if your items do not convert. They charge you anyway. So it's almost like, hey, the people that don't know what you're doing, go ahead and list on your site. We're going to charge you, but there's no way in hell you're going to be able to sell it because you don't know how. It's way more complicated than you think. So go ahead and post things. And I think because they did that, there's now 1 million other websites where you can sell things that are easier than eBay. If they were the easiest platform to list on, there would be no other platforms.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. Because I was like, why do you guys have a listing fee and a store fee? And they're like, well, we'll never change the listing fee. That's a huge profit center for us.
It's funny that that's part of their business model.
Yeah, it is, for sure.
Basically take advantage of people that don't know what they're doing. Well, I mean, the people that don't know what they're doing, it's their own fault, obviously. But still, it's funny how they have worked that eBay is like, that's part of how they're profitable. It's not about providing a better service.
Nope.
Not about having more value in your product. It's literally about just the opposite.
Yeah, it's the Planet Fitness model. If you charge $10 a month for a gym membership and you offer pizza once a month, people will not cancel. I cannot believe that. The CEO is a genius. He's like, Planet Fitness is not about getting people into good shape. It's about me collecting the $10 every month. So and then now they have Bagel Tuesdays. I can't believe this gym is just killing it because people never cancel a $10 a month thing.
A gym with coffee and donuts in it, right?
I know. There's those memes of people sitting on the exercise bikes eating, and they're not exercising. It's just so funny that business exists. But yeah, that's what eBay does. eBay, okay, for those of you listening, eBay is counting on you to not improve your listings. Get them up. And yesterday somebody asked me, I wish eBay had told you how promoted listings work. But they do tell you how promoted listings work. If you have listings and you promote them, eBay is like, okay, there's a new way for us to make money. If we promote this listing and convert, we get to charge a higher final value fee. So eBay will show your listing to X number of people, and they'll look how many of those people actually click and how many of those people actually buy. in the beginning, since they don't know you, they're going to give you that traffic no matter what. So you get a boost. Anytime somebody turns on promoted listings, your sales will go up. But if you're not converting at the pace that they want you to, they will stop giving you impressions, even though you're paying for promoted listings.
I got a question on that. I understand what you just said, but what if your listings exceed their expectations? Will they give you even more impressions?
I think so. Yeah. Because
I would like to see that happen because I don't
Because-
think anybody's ever had that happen, right?
and it does happen, but it's more so on the replenishable. It's harder on a one-off, but like, yes, if you have a really high, Shazad in the chat is in the UK. He has a 17% conversion rate. That's ridiculous. It's like the highest I have ever seen. Okay. But his click-through rates are really low. It's like 0.1. So he might crush it if he decides to use promoted listings because he's not getting any traffic, but the conversion is really good. But I think that the items that he sells doesn't have a large enough market. He might be already getting all the people that are looking for that.
I was gonna say that too, because the items that I sell,
Yeah.
there's better prices than the one I have, and I keep getting more sales.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I always do the research, like I research my competition, and it's like, man, this person is gonna screw me. Like they have $3 less the same product, and I'm like, I keep selling it, so I'm not gonna lower the price. But I don't know, maybe it's that, but I only have 1% promotion.
Yeah. That's so he just put in the chat. He has an 18% close rate and 0.5% click-through rate. That's really, really high, honestly. But yeah, so anyway, with promoted listings, the more that you increase the rate, they're going to show that listing to more and more people. But that's only at first. If it doesn't convert, they're going to turn it off. And that's how I feel about we're talking about insertion fees. If you have listings that haven't sold in 6 months, it makes sense that eBay would suppress the listing because you're wasting their traffic by not selling something that people want to buy within 6 months. That's why I think that trying to turn your inventory at least twice a year makes sense. Also, I was just thinking, everyone in this group right now can sell something for $5 profit. If you go to any store, most of the stuff you buy, they do not make $5 profit. McDonald's does not make $5 profit when you go there. No clothing store. Bill, you've owned a brick and mortar. You don't make $5 a customer. It's really hard to make that much money a customer. But in eBay, it's easy to make $5 a customer. Let's go with Justin. Justin, can you chat?
Yes, I can.
Good morning. How you doing? Welcome to the call.
I appreciate you having me. I think the biggest thing for me is to get going and being consistent. I have a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
I have a new blended family, and I had some great traction just starting off. I had I want to say 1,700 in sales since November 14th. However, it's just throwing whatever's on the wall and see what sticks. Initially I started with just trading cards and stuff of that nature. But then that got, it was a lot of restrictions with sourcing. And so I started, thrifting. And so I started watching what sells, what doesn't sell. But back to the original question with the biggest frustration with eBay, I think I piggyback off of somebody just what they said before. It's very clunky in terms of trying to figure out what to do, how to do it, because the mobile app is totally different from the when you actually get on like a laptop or a wider screen. So there's a lot of mistakes, and just sitting in and listening to the podcast, it's helped a lot, but just not intuitive. It's not like, okay, not that simple where you can just click, slide over. Okay, this makes sense. Like, for example, trying to find out what's the average price. How does it sell? How does it work? So it's a lot of, it's a big learning curve I'm having right now, but I'm eager, but it's just like, I'm almost obsessed with it, and it's like it keeps me up. And it's like, how do I figure out? It's like it's a good, healthy challenge that mentally before it's just like, okay, I just applied through life, and now it's just like, oh, I have a new passion, a hobby, but just trying to convert it to the, when you hear people making six figures and looking at people numbers, their 90-day numbers, it's like, wow. So just trying to get those 10 listings a day and keeping it granular and keep it, very specific is a challenge for me. So that's not really an eBay issue, but it's just, for me, it's just how to have a system in place and follow it and keep going and not try to scale too fast without taking care of the foundation and fundamentals. So.
On Monday, I asked people what they wanted to change in their store, and I think everyone but one person said they wanted to be more consistent. So if you could sell consistency, that would be very, very a good product to sell. But it's hard because we can't force each other to do things. You have to just do things a little bit different. I think, Justin, you might be motivated by your new blended family too, because that for me is a kick in the butt each time I feel the responsibility.
Yep. Yeah. So it's an added pressure, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, let me get busy here. It's a great opportunity. So yeah.
I also want to talk about the mobile team is massive at eBay. They spend more time on mobile than they do on desktop. The mobile app is smoother than desktop, but it's way slower. So It's kind of like, I wish, so it's good for the consumer because as a buyer, it's pretty good. But as a seller, I would want that. They haven't made an improvement on desktop in 4 years. Really, what is the improvement on desktop? It's exactly the same as when I started. It doesn't, other than, I guess, business policies are relatively new. Promoted listings is new. Also, remember, guys, eBay is coming out with pay-per-click. That's coming soon. So now it'll be even more confusing. You have insertion fee, store fee, promoted listings fee, final value fee on shipping. They'll charge you. They charge you a fee if there's a chargeback. They keep the 30 cents if you cancel a transaction. They keep that part of it. And now they're going to do pay-per-click, which is you can pay for placement on top of that. So you really need to know what you're doing because their job is to figure out how to make new fees. So everyone pay attention. It's getting more complicated. Let's go with Linda. Linda, good morning. What bugs you about eBay? What can you improve?
Good morning. I've been trying to think about what bugs me, and I guess the only thing is they seem like they're constantly changing. Like I feel like they're always implementing new things. Sometimes it's good, but most of the time it's just frustrating. And that's only because I've been selling for 16 years or whatever. I've seen so many changes. And the fact that other stores have different ways of listing. Like I created a store for my brick and mortar, and then I was helping somebody else start listing, and it was completely different. I had to look at his screen. I couldn't do it for my own because it was completely different the way my listing looks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, everyone's looks a little different.
Yeah, so that was a little weird, I thought. But I don't know. Just mostly just trying to get it done.
That also makes me think so many people do different processes. Photos first, photos last, describing first, describing last, grading, figuring out if it's worth listing or not, testing. So I want to know why those I sold it on eBay stores went out of business. When I was at 15 years ago, those were everywhere. Now I don't see any of those. None of those places exist.
I was wondering the same thing the other day, if they even were still around. You could take your stuff there and they'd sell it for you.
Yeah. And that,
Is it about the same time auctions pretty much went away and it was replaced with buy it now?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they always had both as long as I've been on.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. I don't know why those businesses went under. It seems like a good model. Go ahead.
Possibly because there wasn't enough profit to be made. Because I started out as consignment, and you almost had to be 50% after fees to make any kind of money at all.
Maybe because I've had more and more people recently respond to my consignment ads, and a lot of them are not wanting me to buy it. This has never happened before. Usually people are like, hey, I have a whole bunch of stuff to sell. Let's do consignment. And I'm like, can I just write you a check? I do not want to do consignment. But now they want more money. They're like, I don't want just 30% for my items. I want you to sell it and I'll take 60%, which is, it's okay, but it's just more complicated to track. But I feel like people are more desperate now. They want all the money for their items.
Are you doing after fees, or how are you doing your percentages?
I'm doing, when I do consignment, it has to be over $100. We'll start at 60%, and that doesn't include shipping. So they can get 60% of what it sells for, not including shipping, if it's over $100 and it's worth my time.
But what about after eBay fees? And
I eat the eBay fees and shipping. I'm sorry, not shipping. I eat the eBay fees out of the 40%, because otherwise it's like too complicated for the buyer to understand. So I'm like, if it sells for 100, you get 60. I pay everything out of my 40, and shipping is not included. Because if you do consignment under $100, I don't know how you do that. I've never seen the model work. It's too hard to do it. Because actually, this is what it is. There's too many items. So if you do over $100, there's just not really that many items. Like the store that does consignment that's really good is Goose Guy 84, and that guy, he lists around 50 to 100 items a week. Goose Guy 84. It's a really silly username, but 50 to 100 items a week is fantastic at $100 ASP, right? So he has never changed that model, and this is crazy to me. He lives on the East Coast and has a full-time job. His store is in San Diego, on the West Coast. One lady works for him and lists and ships 50 to 100 items a week, which is not. I think Don could pull that off. Don, you could have a full-time person for you could definitely do 10 items a day perfectly. But you would need over $100 ASP to pay for that person. They can't be listing normal stuff. It's got to be premium, expensive. And then you can say to that person, every listing has to be perfect or you're fired, because you're doing 10 a day. Come on. That's one every 40 minutes. So going back to what Tony said earlier, he's taking him 18 minutes start to finish, 40 minutes start to finish for that store. But the items are really premium. The photos are perfect. They're edited. The description, you talk about where the item comes from, what kind of yarn it is. That's what you need for the over $100 category. That's
the other problem with that, though, is the items that don't sell. So then you get 10 items from that person. They end up selling like 2 items. So you did all that work and you don't even get to keep it or sell it at a discount. Or I do not like consignment.
I thought about doing, so there's a lady nearby that she's like, I want to learn how to sell. And I'm like, that doesn't work. You'd have to give me the items for free and pay me for me to show you how to do your items in your store. That's too complicated. But I was thinking I could offer the service of listing it in your store. Because Linda, you mentioned 3D sellers. It's like pretty easy for combining stores.
That was so fantastic. 107 items in less than 5 minutes. It was so great.
Yeah.
So happy.
In theory, I could, instead of an I sell it on eBay store, you could bring your item to my store. I could list it for you in your store and then give you the item back and then you ship it. That, I think maybe that would work. Maybe it won't work. But like, if you have a listing process, if I told Matt, you know what, you're no longer selling jeans, you're selling CDs, he would just figure it out. He'd just start over with a new stations. But yeah, that's true. Let's go with Christine. Christine, good morning. What bugs you? What could you improve?
Sorry. What bugs me about eBay? Honestly, I'm kind of really going with rolling with it. I think the thing that really bugs me the most is all due to me. In how I'm doing the work, getting used to it. So really, I'm fine with the payments. I do it once a week. I don't think it's clunky. I just learn to take it as it is. It's clunky. That's just what it is. It doesn't, you know, I thought about this question because of the 2-second lean, what bugs you and shit. With eBay itself, it doesn't bug me. I mean,
You're right. What bugs you about eBay is you.
Is me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I agree with that.
Because if it is bugging me and I don't have any power to change it, then what needs to change is my attitude and how I'm thinking about it. Because even that is a habit from what the book that we're reading right now.
That's right.
It's like addicts and alcoholics. They're used to doing the same thing. Get up, go to work at 4:00. They start thinking about happy hour, then they drink, and then they get drunk, and they do the same thing over and over because that's the pattern.
That's the pattern. Yeah.
So it's my pattern. It's my thinking that needs to change. So
I was triggered by my friend who he was like, oh, I can't. He's becoming a loan officer. And I'm like, oh, is there somebody that you can model that's good at it? And he's like, oh yeah, there's a guy in my branch that's that does $2 million a year. His income is $2 million a year at Wells Fargo. He's the top mortgage loan guy. And I'm like, oh, awesome, then you can model him. And he said, oh, I can't, because to get to his level, it's mostly luck. He said that, right? And at first I was like, I was triggered by it, but then I came back to you. I was like, why am I still hanging out with this guy? I don't need. I can upgrade my friends too. This guy, this is. How do you even live if you can't do it because it's luck? I would just switch industries if that's the case.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Let's go with Kevin and Ashley. Ashley, good to see you. Hopefully you're feeling better. Can you chat?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
What can you do to improve your store, and what bugs you?
What bugs me the most is, I mean, on lately the returns we've been getting, it's just people not simply looking at photos or our descriptions. All the information has been in the listing. So, and then they want to return it because they didn't want to take the time to look at the listing. So that's just what bugs us the most lately. So, and then what we can do to improve, just always the consistency. With my injury, it's been really hard for me to get motivated to do it. Because I can barely do any walking. I just started driving yesterday. So being able to take pictures was a challenge last week. So I don't know if you remember about the slides that we told you about. I don't know if Kevin told you, but we ended up listing those last week because of my foot. And we had them listed up for one day. We sold about 4 of them that first day. And then the next day, someone messaged us saying that it was their family members' photos and how much do you want to purchase all of them?
Oh, wow.
So we said, that's amazing. Their story added up. They gave us a lot of background information regarding it. And we're like, you know what, just pay us what we paid for them and we'll send them to you. So that was really cool. But yeah, so my issue just right now is just trying to get motivated and trying to figure out how to take pictures with my injury and whatnot. So
that's a good feel-good story. I would love to sell something back to somebody that they lost or because it's nice. Nostalgia is the top category on eBay for as far as profit.
Right. And like we knew it wasn't like a scam or anything because they were the ones coming to us with the information. Plus they were offering us to purchase them. They said, these were sold in an estate sale last year in Melbourne, Florida, and they weren't supposed to be sold. And we're like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's exactly where we bought them from. So it was just really neat. It was cool.
That is cool. Yeah, and I think it just like everything, especially an injury, you got to take some time to come back into the flow. And one thing I noticed about talking to Tech and Sports is he's at people asked him, "Oh, you're 250 listings now. Are you going to grow?" And he said, "No, I'm going to leave it at that in 2021. I'll grow next year." Because when you make a change, like to a certain level, you can't just keep change. Like you got to get used to that level before you
Right.
move to the next one.
Exactly.
So what could you do to reduce returns, you think?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. Because like we've talked about before, I do take the time to do all the item specifics, even not just the required ones. I'll do all the recommended ones too. So even after taking all that time, putting all the measurements in both the condition description and the description at the bottom, I don't know what else I can do to improve that. It's just people's ignorance of not wanting to look at a listing thoroughly before they
I
buy something.
I would add a couple more verbiage things. Like I put, please compare measurements to existing items you have. I put in item specifics are approximate, right?
Yeah, that
Please,
I do
please,
that
yeah,
as well.
please message me for questions. I mean, you do what you can, but returns are going to be
Yeah,
returns. And I
it's
think,
just
yeah,
frustrating when you know that you're doing everything you can to provide the right information. So
yeah. I
Chris,
also, go ahead.
is there a system that you can put in place on eBay that sends the thank you for your purchase?
Yeah.
And because if there is, could Ashley, you put in there, please review the information
You mean when after they buy it?
after they purchase it? And then that way, if they realize, oh man, I mean, it's kind of, you could possibly lose a sale from having to
Yeah,
cancel it, but
that's
the
right.
customer's
You
the
could
one.
avoid a
and again,
return too.
I
Yeah.
also feel like, I mean, eBay just always backs up the buyer
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
they
So
will. They will
at that
always do
point,
that.
it doesn't really matter, you know.
Oh, here's something that's also interesting. CDL Picker in the chat is saying he makes the packing materials beautiful. I 100% agree with that. Like my packaging costs 2 cents extra. So I have the clear, which is a penny, and the thank you card is a penny. And because now I use 3D sellers to try this new feedback service that's like, hey, are you happy with your purchase? Let me know if there's anything wrong with it. And it's scary because you're poking a sleeping bear. Maybe they were unhappy but too lazy to leave you a negative feedback. So I got tons of messages. You know what? It wasn't what I thought. It didn't fit right. I actually thought it was ugly, but I'm going to keep it because the packaging was nice. Like, because people, I don't know. I think that actually does. That's why, like, I think Poshmark is so successful because, I mean, if you look at Poshmark listings, they're terrible compared to eBay. So people are keeping it, I think, because of the beautiful presentation that they recommend. But I mean, if you look at a Poshmark listing on average versus an eBay listing, it's literally just something crumpled up on the floor. It's not pro. It's very much a consumer app. But
I
yeah,
have a
presentation.
question.
Go ahead.
Do you think it's worth it to use thank you cards then? Do you think that's prevented some returns?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's for sure prevented some returns because there's the please message me if you have a problem with it before returning it on there. So, and I always offer, hey, sorry about the problem. Would you like a partial refund to keep it or give it to a friend, or do you want a full refund and I'll pay for the shipping label? And some people are like, oh, I didn't think about that. I'll give it to my niece, and then done. I don't have to deal with the return.
It's
Or one guy just said, will you give me a partial refund and I'll spend it again in your store? So it just depends. I think if you also, I think that the more questions you answer, the better eBay, the more eBay likes you. Because I'm answering every question now. I used to ignore some, but now I don't.
You know, Chris, it just kind of had a connection when Ashley was talking about that. Like I just, quit being a teacher this year after like 17 years. And what I noticed over the course of my teaching career is that anyone that's ever taught will know this, that when you're presenting information, you can give it in different modes, visually, you go through you model, you guide, you do all these things, and the instructions can be super clear, And then the students, you'll still have a big percentage of them that will ask you like the stupidest questions, like they're obviously not paying any attention.
Right.
And it seems like over time, well, it doesn't seem like, I know over time, the number of students diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, all these 403Bs, all these accommodations you have to do, it has skyrocketed. So it almost seems to me that as this generation, for whatever reason, whether technology, diet, environment, whatever, their ability to read, to follow instructions, to communicate, and essentially, ultimately to learn has deteriorated to such a point where, just like Ashley was talking about, you can create a great listing, you can give all the information, you can have the pictures, but are they taking the time to actually look at it and to read it? And I don't think so. So I don't know, just kind of making that connection was kind of interesting to me.
One more thought on that. I would agree with that. Like, you get questions, what size is it? And it's like, I have a picture of the size. It's in the title. It's in the item specifics and the description. Every single part of the listing has the size. Why are you asking what size it is? So this reminds me, I was at the flea market, and I was looking at this jeans seller at the flea market, and they had, okay, these are the sizes in a sign: 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They actually sold jeans by size, not brand. So I went to that stall. It says 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 for the sizes. On the jean, there's also a sticker that says 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Because they're like, even though it's right under that, people ask, what size is it? And we're like, really? But then they just added the stickers, and now they're okay, it's 0 and it says 0 on it. And they actually put 2 and 2 together. But that made me think,
those are the same students who in school where, you give them a page number orally, write it on the whiteboard, or you put it on the smart screen, you write it down on the homework section, and they're still going to ask you, what page are we on?
I know. Wow. I guess that is the nature of the beast. But I think people shouldn't get too burnt out by it, because people, especially, I feel like some of the younger generation, aren't paying attention as much. Life is too easy.
So how dare you? How dare you, sir? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Let's go with Scott. Scott, good morning. What are you working on?
Good. Really good. Hitting it hard. Gotta love it. It's really, really starting to make a lot of sense. But a couple things. I know it's hard, Bill. If you could go to a weekly payout, you'd feel a lot better about what's happening. Just plan yourself out a little bit, build a little nest egg, and only take the money once. Then you only deal with that problem one time, then too.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's frustrating, on the daily, not getting paid, not getting, and we're all going through the same thing, identical, but if you can take it in one lump sum, then you swallow it in one lump sum too.
That's true. Also, one more thing from the chat I want to mention is that somebody said that the lower the price, the higher the returns. Usually, yeah, the cheaper items have higher returns than more expensive items, just generally speaking. But go ahead, Scott.
I honestly think that the people that offer, and you accept offers, or you bump them up, or they're negotiating for $1, they're causing the problem. Somebody just usually hits it and buys it.
Right.
You don't have the problem, but the guy that's trying to nickel and dime you for a pair of jeans for an extra $1 off or something, oh shit, this one's gonna probably come back.
That's a really good point. And that's also the same with, can you measure the thigh measurement? Or can you measure, I want to see if this fits in my, it's different versus I want to see if this fits in my cabinet. That's like totally reasonable. So it's I find if it's a really specific question, usually they will buy. If it's a general question, they do not buy. So I have here, I'll give you guys my blurb. This is the most common response I have to customer service on eBay. So you guys are getting this shortcut that I put. Sorry, our items are sealed after shipping. I'm sorry. Sorry, our items are sealed for shipping after photos, but we do have free returns. Some of the measurements are in the description. Thank you for your interest. This is my generic blurb, and it's how I respond to 90% of questions. And then
I used it yesterday, Chris, or very close to that.
because some people say, no, I would really like to avoid a return. Just tell me what it is. So,
somebody asked, it was a black overcoat, a rain jacket, and it kind of, how the black and then the material, the poly, it kind of blacked out or whited out a little bit. It was not a bad picture, but of course, is that a spot on it or this or that? It's new with take. So, and it's like, okay, I'll retake a picture or I'll try to clean the picture up. And, but I do have free returns if it doesn't mean what you want. So somebody else also asked too, I still do that, even though if it's 20 or 30 sales a day, I still handwrite out thank you cards. I use the generic eBay card. I'm going to probably be switching over to yours soon because it's getting harder. They're at the ship desk. You've got eBay on one side, you pick them up for free, and everybody else also, remember, you get your free shipping supplies now too.
Oh yeah, everyone. Let's see if I have that.
And Scotty Cameron thing, the membership opened up.
Yeah, that did. That's awesome. I snagged one yesterday. People were saying
what?
The Scotty Cameron memberships opened up.
What is that?
It's
the golf stuff?
It's the Supreme for old white men. It's like a golf store that's really popular, and it doesn't sell out as fast as Supreme because it's different clientele. But again, somebody asked me, do you think it's worth it? It's hard to answer. It's always a gamble. I don't know if it's worth it. Depends on what they release this year. If they release stuff that's super valuable, it's worth it. If they release junk, then it's not. So it's there's no guarantees in arbitrage. The only guarantee, in my opinion, is if you hand hunt the items one at a time, you're really reducing your risk close to zero.
Did you ever get your Nikes, Chris?
Which ones?
The ones that you turned us on to?
Oh no, I didn't get.
I didn't either.
But I do get them. I do get. I would say maybe 10 drops a year, but I
don't know what happened that day. I mean, I hit it with you. We talked about it.
Yeah.
I
actually upgraded my internet today for that reason. I'm gonna try to get that. I want to get the I want to get those. That's like, and that's something with the Facebook group, because I didn't know about Scotty Cameron until somebody posted it in the Facebook group. Over time, people will start posting stuff like that. Like for example, Nike drops. There's all you have to do is get one and it will be profitable. So those ones, it's not race to the bottom. But if it's like, hey, these Under Armour jackets are on sale, they're 90% off. That's a little scary because everyone buys them at 90% off. And then there's somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, selling it for 85% off with free shipping. And they think they made a profit because they do 15 free shipping. Then they didn't realize it cost $9 to ship. So the super hype stuff, I want to be on top of. Like somebody posted that Pendleton blanket from Costco. That was awesome. I wish that I could do that. They were $25 at Costco and they sold for $70. And also, I didn't know they only sold for $70 on Poshmark, because Poshmark has the 5-pound weight limit. So that was advantageous because that would have cost $12 or $13 to ship on eBay. So I was like, wow, people are really thinking outside the box to make money. But you wouldn't know about stuff like that unless you're in groups paying attention to what kind of stuff pops up. That also helped me learn. Or go ahead, Christina.
One thing about Poshmark I learned just the other day was when you get your purchase in and whenever you go to accept the actual purchase so the person can get paid, it says, if you don't want this, relist it. So the purchaser can now, instead of return it, relist it in their store.
Yeah, that's reposhing it, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. You know what's, I think that I do like that, because I bought Poshmark items for myself to wear, and then when I get tired of it, I can just relist it there. That's nice, and use their photos, but it's not the same condition. Let's see. Let's go, Jared. Jared, good morning. What can you do to improve eBay?
Hey everybody. I don't really have too many complaints. It's just I wish you could do update quantities on mobile. Like if you have a replenishable, I like to run it at one, there's only one left. I'd like to be able to just jump on there nice and easy like you can on the desktop. Other than that, every complaint I got about eBay's me. So I'm just grateful to be able to jump on there and make money. So instead of slaving in the body shop.
Yeah, I was thinking we might all look back at this and think this is the good old days, because who knows what happens to it in the future. Maybe in the future shipping is $10, and everyone has to wait in line to get it scanned. And remember when you could use a scan sheet, or remember when your post office guy would do it, or remember when they did pickups, or remember when there was eBay. If something comes out, it's better than eBay.
Yeah. I mean, after dealing with Amazon for the last couple of years, I mean, eBay's a walk in the park, I think, next to Amazon.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anybody's noticed. Have you guys noticed the integration between the two for fulfilling from Amazon?
Like the Joe Lister.
Yeah. One of my, if anybody uses AccelerList, like I don't know if there's any booksellers on here. I'm sure there's some in the chat or something, but I use AccelerList, and they have I'm calling it promotions. I know that's the wrong word, but you can actually fulfill it from the Amazon Center. And even like, how I do media, I'm gated media on Amazon, but I can actually send the media to Amazon and they can fulfill it across eBay for you. So it's kind of neat. I think it's their, it's like we joked around before that Amazon was going to be the new postal service. It seems like it's a, small steps towards that.
I think that the postal service should be private. I'm okay with that. It's just that it won't be affordable. It's interesting because they gotta make a profit. So if Amazon's kind of like the government though already, to be honest. They're so big. I don't know how many times bigger they are than eBay, but it's not even close. Amazon's massive, and they do everything. They do all the streaming. They have Amazon Web Services. They even tried to come out with a cell phone. That was a huge failure, but they use that technology for other things, I'm sure. Michael was saying, no, we missed the good old days for eBay. It was in 2003. So, guys, we missed the boat. Got to move on to the next thing. Let's see. Yeah, we'll end it with this tip from Reginald. Thank you. I use eBay Desktop on my phone. So when I'm pulling orders, I use the actual desktop on my browser. So that's really useful. I recommend that you guys do that because desktop is more powerful. It's slower and clunkier than eBay mobile, but it's more powerful. You can do more things with it. So make sure you utilize that. And everyone have an awesome day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.